So we've come out to the Confucius Temple and I'm just going to pause for that. So there is, every couple of minutes you get an Air Force jet running over the top of this place. So yeah, it cuts out the sound obviously. But yeah, we're at the Confucius Temple. First stop in Tainan. We had a bit of fun getting here with the trains because you have to get the right type of train and some of them don't take easy cards. So that was a bit of fun, so just be careful of that. And we're going to have a look around. We've come down to the Chicken Tower and we're going to have a look around here. It's the old Dutch fort, built obviously back in the day, early in the century. So yeah, when the Dutch were in power. So we're going to have a look around here, and there was a temple on the site as well, and there's all these big old trees and that kind of thing. So yeah, let's go for a walk around. Dates back to the 1600s, and there's a Pengu Academy out the back, so we're going to have a look around there as well, but let's go keep walking around. So there were 3 connected buildings as part of the Dutch fort, dating back to the 1600s, and in the 1660s they built some of these additional Chinese features when the place was handed over to the Chinese, or they joint managed it. The reason this building looks so Chinese was that it was relocated here in the Qing dynasty, or to its current site in the Qing dynasty period, because the original Dutch fort, dating back to the 16th century or 1600s, was destroyed in the rebellions in 1700s. So it was originally quite a ways away over that direction by the water. So that's why it was originally a waterfront fort overlooking Anping, which it's not anymore, because this was the rebuilt version, and that's why it looks so Chinese as well. So we're going to go for a walk through the original fort gates, which have been relocated as well. down the Anping Old Street at the moment. We've caught the 99 bus down here and we're going to go for a bit of a walk. And it is during the day, so it's not hugely packed at the moment. They're selling all sorts of different things. We've just finished our walk down the Anping Old Street and we've arrived at Fort Zealandia, which is 17th century. So the fort I was talking about before, 1600, so 17th century. I had it wrong, I had 16 in my head, so don't mind me. So 1624, the Dutch East India Company originally set up a trading post in Tainan in southern Taiwan, and then they started this Fort Zealandia at the time, and they had forts around the area, and they had a church and that kind of thing around the area. And we're going to go for a walk around this fort, and it became a house, I believe, for one of the Chinese governors, I think it was. So let's go for a little bit of a walk. Was the Anping tax office during the Qing dynasty, 1882. So they had a whole city here called the City of Zealandia that expanded from the original fort. And we're going to go up the stairs and walk around some of that area now. And this statue is actually of Koxinga, who was one of the original Asian rulers. So these stairs are actually not very even, so you do need to be careful with them. So quite a few of the buildings have actually been rebuilt after the Japanese took over in the late 1800s, because the fort was actually in ruins, but there's still some of the original walls, there's some cannons, and there's these gorgeous frangipani trees as well. So as it turns out, the fort walls, the concrete, or the concrete that they used to actually put all the fort walls together with the bricks, was actually a mix of oyster shells and glutinous rice powder. So it's got this gritty sort of consistency, and you can see the shells and that kind of thing inside it. So that's actually really interesting, the local materials that they used to actually put that together. So we've come around to the Anping treehouse. It's got all these large banyan trees in the yard, and it was some of the original merchant houses and that kind of thing back in the day. So we're going to go for a walk around here. So after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, there was actually air raid shelters built here because it was a Japanese colony at the time. So some of these things in the back of the treehouse, these concrete structures, are actually air raid shelters built into the ground. The main building here was actually a warehouse during the Qing dynasty, and it stored camphor and I think grain or something along those lines as well. So we've come down to the flower night market in Tainan. About a 20-minute bus ride, and all those lights in just behind us are the night market. So this place is just massive.
Absolutely packed.